Hello, steward. Thank you so much for joining me for yet another class. This is class number 7, all right? And it's a part of our budgeting series here at Shistow's Financial Ministries. And I am Dr. Winnie Wamulanga. And so for today's class, we'll be talking about how to create a monthly budget that actually works. You know, a budget that can work for you, not I. That's the one we are going to create. And also, we want you to, it's going to be so practical that you want to stick to it. All right? So please don't leave. Make sure that you watch until the end. And we are going to work together to make sure that this one actually works. Because many times we try budgeting, many people have tried budgeting, but it hasn't worked for them. It's failed. But actually, don't even worry. If you have tried budgeting before and it has failed, it's okay. That's why I'm here. So today we are going to be building something realistic. It's going to be biblical. It's going to be sustainable. And the scripture for us today is taken from the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 40. It says, "Let all things be done decently and in order. Our God is a God of order." When you do things in order, you invite God into your financial situations, and how you handle your money should be orderly in order for God to help you. All right? So, what actually makes a budget work? Have you ever asked that question? If you've failed before, you should have asked yourself that question, because I tried so many times and I failed. All right? If a budget is simply a plan for your money before the month begins, then why is it possible that we fail to even plan for our money? Because I've seen that many people fail in so many situations. One, because they overcomplicate things. Please do not overthink about this thing. If you overcomplicate this process, it's going to be hard. All right, just be honest with yourself. If you've set up categories, items will be easy. Just put the numbers in. You know how much you earn. Put the numbers in. It will be easy. All right. When you go above when you have unexpected expenses, you know how to deal with that. Okay. Number 2, people fail because they don't have room for flexibility. The room for flexibility is provided for in the miscellaneous categories. Those are things that come unexpectedly. Please, you need to include them in your budget. All right? Also, people forget to plan for unexpected expenses. I've talked about those. You have to have room for flexibility. Also, in the groceries, we talked about the necessities like food and groceries. You will see that, yes, you planned for a certain amount, but actually you went over budget. When you do have when you actually have flexibility in your budget, it's going to be easy for you. All right? Do not align your budget. People also fail because they don't align their budget with their values or income. They just do a budget because, what works for someone is not going to work for you, my friend. All right? So, today, we want us to create a working budget together, you and I. We want this budget to be based on real numbers. When I have my numbers, please feed in your own numbers. Let's not guess, okay? Also, this budget has to account for both the fixed and variable expenses. We talked about the fixed expenses. They don't change. Your mortgage or rent doesn't change. It's fixed through the year until you change a contract for that, right? Your food, groceries, they vary, but they are variable expenses. They change. Your gas consumption changes, depending on how much you traveled. All right. Also, we are going to create a budget that reflects your priorities and purpose for living. And you're going to start reviewing it weekly. All right. That's a budget that actually will work. Okay. So, there are 5 steps to build your monthly budget that is realistic. We talked about that in, I think it was class number 4 or 5, but now I want us to maybe just a recap. Also, maybe I'll introduce something new a little bit, but just remember that it's still the same. All right. Step number 1, list your total income. Without that, you cannot be able to move to the next 4 steps. If you know how much you earn, whether it's the salary, your side hustles, your gifts, your business income, it's going to be easy because that amount is the actual take-home pay. It's not your gross. When you have deducted your taxes, when you have deducted your retirement, Social Security, your medical, what you're left with is your income. All right. Then you have to tithe first. Tithing is 10%. Proverbs 3:9 says, honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits. Put God first before anything else, my friend. We'll talk more about that. All right. Step number 3, list your expenses by category. We've talked about fixed expenses. Those would include your mortgage or rent, utilities, school fees, transportation, including gas. 2, the variable expenses that change, food, entertainment, gas or airtime, anything like that. 3, debt payments, whether it's credit cards, loans, or anything like that. 4, savings, emergency funds, whether it's giving, savings, whether it's the emergency fund, giving, and anything else. Please remember, that's a category on its own, okay? So, step number 4, you need to create the zero-based budget. Zero-based budget is simple. Income minus expenses equals 0, all right? So, here in this budget, every dollar has a job. If you have any extra, that goes back to your debt. Because remember, if you might miss the debts management series, please go back and watch. You will know that each and every debt that you owe has got interest. All right? The best way to do that is if you have any extra dollars left after you've budgeted, please always pay that money toward your debt repayment, okay? Then step 5, adjust it weekly. I will repeat, life changes. Always check your budget every week. Please keep updates. These updates should be based on actual spending. The tip here is budgeting is not, you don't set it and forget it. It is a living document. It's a living document that you have to live by. All right? I used to do that because I was in finance. I'll just write my budget, or even if it's in a track, it's in one of those tracking apps, or even in an Excel spreadsheet. I'll just set it and then I'll forget it. Then I would go back to my old lifestyle. Okay? But if a budget is supposed to work for you, my friend, you have to make it a living document. It's one that you can always go back and adjust in case there is anything that you feel like you have to adjust. All right? So, I forgive my handwriting, but I tried, okay? Here is this is not how much I earn. I may earn less, but the point is clear. I want us to work together, all right? So let's say I have an income of $5,000, right? So this is how you remember the simple zero-based plan, right? So it will look like this. The category here, the tithe and giving, number 1, 10% of your income, that's $500, right? I don't know how much that is for you. Please feed that in. The rent or mortgage, how much is it for you? Mine is 1.5. Utilities, how much is it for you? Feed that in, all right? Transportation, even your gas money, feed that in. Groceries, how much is it for you? Mine is about 1,000. Feed that in. Debt repayment, how much is it for you? Mine is 800. Feed that in for you. Savings, mine is 300. How much is yours? Feed that in. And then, of course, I talked about the miscellaneous, all other things, the airtime, all those things, unexpected expenses, put that in. All right. And so, do you know how much money that is? My income is 5,000. 5,000. My expenses are $5,000. And so, the budget, zero-based budget, is 0. Yeah. Let's look at, I'm not requesting for yours, but please do it secretly, all right? We don't want to break into your home or bank account. So, budgeting is an act of faith, all right? When you make a plan, 1, you're honoring God with discipline. 2, you're declaring that you trust Him with your provision. 3, you're choosing stewardship over chaos. When you just do things, you wake up and go buy things you didn't plan for them. After that, you remember that you went over your budget and now you get into depression. You have to borrow money. Not nice. All right? So, Luke 14:28 says, "For which of you intending to build a tower does not sit down first and count the costs?" All right? God expects us to plan with wisdom and faith. Even Jesus taught the principle of counting the cost. And so, at She's Financial Ministries, we have decided to have a balance. I've seen two sides. One that doesn't plan and is always praying. Then the other one which plans and does not pray. We have a balance. We put God first and then we work, and then we'll help people out of financial bondage. If you need help, please don't forget to log into shestewards.org or check us out. Facebook, YouTube. We have information. We have helpful resources that will help you walk into financial prosperity. All right. So, as we close this class, here is what I'm requesting you to do. Please write down your actual monthly income. If you haven't done so already, I've done mine. Create your first draft budget using categories. All right? Please pray over your budget and commit to reviewing it weekly. Comment below, what budgeting method do you plan to use? Is it your notebook? Please type. Is it a spreadsheet? Type. Or maybe it's an app. Please type. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed. Like this video and share it with a friend or colleague or a family member, even a frenemy. If you believe that this person is willing to take control of their money, the God's way. God's way. All right? So, thank you so much for joining us for this class. Until we see you for class number 8, remember, I love you. And so, of course, it's Jesus who loves you more than I do, but He loves you and I love you too. All right. So class number 8 will be looking at budgeting for irregular income. You don't want to miss that. Thank you so much. Stay blessed. And until then, it's Winnie Wamulanga here. Bye.